rescue up, save the dinosaurs from an island that's about to explode. What could go wrong?
Welcome to Fallen Kingdom, the return of Jurassic World 1 minute at a time. I'm Brad.
I'm Dave.
And here we are back to discuss minute 68 of Fallen Kingdom. Before we get to that, we're going to touch briefly over to Jurassic-Pedia.com for the volcano warning status level. We know during the events of Fallen Kingdom, we pretty much take place, most of it, for the start anyway, on Nublar, but you could just imagine what was happening back on the mainland as the volcano, as our characters are witnessing the volcano firsthand, and what the scientists, the Institute of Volcanology, all them sort of people, the National Weather Service, possibly as well, would have all been interested because when these things go up, it's quite an event, and I would not be surprised if it was either aircraft or vessels maybe in the area filming as well, being international waters.
Pierce Brosnan's on the case.
With Elf, Elmer.
Elf, I think.
There's so many different gear. Oh no, it wasn't Dorothy. That's something else. Yeah. So we got this little right up here, and what the different cataclysmic levels are of the eruption. Obviously, a Mag 5 being a cataclysmic event, and a Mag 00, or Mag 0, which is probably what the report Hammond got back when he first surveyed the island for the park. He would have got back then that dormant, extinct, indicates a volcano not likely to erupt in the predictable future, or may never erupt again. Well, yes, we know what happened in that story.
It's a fairly short article.
Yep.
Not really a lot to discuss.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I'm not quite sure what you would consider to be a cataclysmic event. For example, I mean, I would personally, it's certainly cataclysmic for Nublar, you know?
Well, yeah, just that step up from level 4 with the eruption imminent, just how violent that eruption is going to be. It might just erupt and be a bit of a fizzer, let some lava out, and that's about it. But
well, we saw from the eruption earlier in the movie that this was a fairly violent eruption. It wasn't super violent. I mean, the cone is still there, but it looked like it blew the top off the volcano. And from what we see of it, the newsreel package in Dominion, it looks like a fairly large amount of the volcano still is still there, but it was noticeably shorter than it had been prior to the eruption.
yeah, I think location probably plays into it a lot as well. If it's Honolulu, like main island Hawaii, it's probably going to be classed a lot more cataclysmic if there's property damage, loss of life, that sort of thing, compared to South Pacific Island, sitting there smoking and putting some lava into the ocean. So I'd imagine there'd be different scales like that as well. But for that article and many more, head over to Jurassic-Pedia.com.
You got a heartbeat?
Yeah. Do you?
Need blood samples.
I'm not here to help you reset the food chain, so take your own damn samples.
What a nasty woman.
Dave, how about we look at minute 68?
All right, sounds good.
Alright, minute 68 of Fallen Kingdom opens with a helicopter approach to Lockwood's private harbour and ends with a merc discovering a stowaway franklyn. As we open on minute 68, we cut back to the ship as Owen and Claire sleep. Kind of risky, just having a bit of a snooze in the back of the Unimog with the ship approaching the dock, but I suppose you can take it. Owen's a military man, you know, take your rest whenever you can, because next minute you're going to be up and running around again, which they are for the rest of the film. We get the sound of the men shouting as the ship docks, and it wakes Owen up, and he looks down to see Claire's hand resting on his chest, and then he lowers his head to smell Claire's hair and smiles to himself. All this time
Smooth,
on the island.
real smooth.
Yeah, all this time running around on the island, and that he's finally realised or remembered that they were going out at some time.
Probably has a nice ashy smell to it.
Yeah, yep. And yeah, it's got to be at least a day or two of sweat as well, so always always good. But Claire starts to wake, so Owen pretends to sleep, and she removes a hand, hoping that Owen didn't recognise or realise it was there, but we'd obviously seen it. The start, not the start, I suppose. We've had a little bit of this Looney Tunes stuff before with him flopping his way away from the lava and that sort of thing, and we get this here, and we're going to get another fake out later on with Wheatley and the Indoraptor as well. Just some of the little design choices they've put into the film of character building, if you want to put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
As she wakes, Owen says that we're here, and Franklyn just sort of raises his head from the corner of the screen, going, "Where?" So he's been out to the world as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mercury's approach the truck, and everyone but Zia hide out of sight just as the front hatch is opened and Wheatley appears. And he asks Zia if she got a heartbeat. Again, in that accent he's doing, it's so comical.
Do you?
Yes, that is the response that Zia gives, and then Wheatley ignores the sass and says he needs blood samples. Which is weird. You'd think maybe if they thought Blue wasn't going to survive, they would have just taken a heap of blood from her beforehand, but Zia may have said, well, no, she needs that blood because she's hemorrhaging or whatever else, we need extra blood. Or whether Wu's sent forward to say, I need to know what's going on, I need samples to check her out or something. It's weird here that all of a sudden we need blood samples when we're 5 minutes from getting back to Lockwood Estate and the lab. Not quite sure where they're trying to go there with needing blood samples. Any ideas?
I was thinking that what they would need is blood samples for Wu. So, I mean, obviously she's probably going to survive by this case, but Wheatley hasn't checked in on her the entire trip as far as we know. So, yeah, Wu would want those blood samples just in case.
And it would make sense because I remember from later on in the film, he does chuck a bit of a wobbly when he realises or hears that she's added DNA or blood to the raptor that isn't Blue's DNA. So maybe this is how he got the heads up of that's what's happened. Because I can't recall how much time he actually gets with Blue when they actually get to the lab before all the hilarity ensues with the escape. But Zia fights back. I'm not here to help you reset the food chain, so take your own damn samples. Which is really smart when the others are hiding in the truck there. Wheatley has no reply. He sits around in the cab of the truck and closes the hatch before taking a breath and calling Zia a nasty woman. I'm sure more of the population would see him as the nasty man, but anyway. And I know it ends because it's PG, but why is she still alive at this point? She's saved the raptor. Blue's alive. The only reason she's alive is because Blue was shot. Maybe not here on the boat where there's people, but why is she not being led to the side of the boat and capped and pushed into the ocean? I know we need her for later on in the movie, but her whole reason for being alive right now is to keep that raptor alive, and the raptor's alive, so...
Well, I assume the deal was if she gets to stay alive if Blue stays alive, and obviously they kept the bargain, so... I mean, that doesn't mean that he wouldn't betray her later, but Wheatley seems like maybe slightly more honorable than Mills.
Well, to quote an even better villain, I've altered the deal and pray don't alter it further. Yes, you're alive now, but the next deal, things might not happen the way you want.
True.
But Zia somehow knows that the coast's clear and tells everyone to get out of the truck. And they all scamper out of the back as Mercenary approaches with a flashlight. Meanwhile, over the loudspeaker, you can hear drivers are being told to get into their vehicles. No, it almost sounds like they just record the start of a NASCAR race or something. Drivers, to your vehicles. Getting played over the PA system of this ship. But as the mercenary comes to the back of the truck, somehow Owen and Claire have done their best Batman impression and vanished from sight, leaving poor Franklin there alone with a torch being shone in his face. And as the minute ends, we get the classic hey, and he shines a torch in Franklin's face as the minute ends. I am still without novelisation, so we can't go into that. But Dave, is there anything else on this minute that you want to discuss before we get out for the week?
No, I think we're good.
All right, lovely.